Welcome to the Historypedia channel. My name is Peter and today I'm going to tell you about an ancient world history. The Battle of Mutina was a key battle fought in 43 BCE between the forces of the Second Triumvirate and the army of the assassins of Julius Caesar. Here are the historical events that led up to the battle. 1. Assassination of Julius Caesar. In 44 BCE, Julius Caesar, the leader of the Roman Republic, was assassinated by a group of senators who opposed his autocratic rule. 2. Formation of the Second Triumvirate. In the aftermath of Caesar's assassination, a power vacuum emerged in Rome. 3 of Caesar's former supporters, Mark Antony, Lepidus, and Octavian, formed the Second Triumvirate to maintain order and consolidate their own power. 3. Formation of the Liberators faction. Meanwhile, a group of senators who had been involved in Caesar's assassination, known as the Liberators, fled Rome and gathered an army in northern Italy, led by Marcus Junius Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus. 4. Antony and Octavian's campaign. In 43 BCE, Antony and Octavian marched their army north to confront the Liberators' army. They besieged the city of Modena, which was held by the Liberators, and engaged in a series of skirmishes with the enemy forces. 5. Negotiations and betrayal. During the siege of Mutina, negotiations were initiated between the two sides, and it appeared as if a peaceful resolution might be possible. However, one of the commanders of the Liberators' army, Decimus Junius Brutus, defected to Antony and Octavian's side, and opened the city gates for their troops. The Battle of Mutina was a pivotal battle fought between the Second Triumvirate, led by Mark Antony and Octavian, and the army of the Liberators, led by Marcus Junius Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus, in April 43 BCE. Here are the details of the battle progress. 1. Antony and Octavian's siege. Antony and Octavian had besieged the city of Mutina, which was held by the Liberators' army. The triumvirs had brought a large army of around 20 legions, while the Liberators had about half that number. Antony and Octavian had hoped to starve the Liberators into submission, but the situation took a different turn when Decimus Junius Brutus, one of the commanders of the Liberators, defected to the triumvir's side and opened the city gates for them. 2. The betrayal. The defection of Decimus Junius Brutus was a severe blow to the Liberators' cause. However, Cassius and Marcus Brutus managed to escape with their troops and decided to fight on, hoping to reach the Balkans and regroup. 3. The battle. The triumvirs pursued the fleeing Liberators' army, and a decisive battle took place near Mutina. The battle was fiercely contested, and at one point, the Liberators seemed to have the upper hand. However, they were eventually overwhelmed by the larger and better trained Triumvirate army. The battle lasted for several hours, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. 4. Escape of Cassius and Brutus. Despite their defeat, Cassius and Brutus managed to escape with a portion of their army, and they continued their resistance against the triumvirs in the following months. Here are the details of the aftermath. 1. The triumph of the triumvirs. The victory at Mutina secured the triumvirs' hold on Rome and eliminated the immediate threat posed by the Liberators. Antony and Octavian emerged as the dominant figures in Rome, and they proceeded to purge their political enemies and consolidate their power. 2. The execution of Decimus Junius Brutus. Despite his defection to the triumvir's side, Decimus Junius Brutus was executed by Antony for his role in the Battle of Mutina. Antony saw Decimus as a traitor who had betrayed his fellow Liberators, and his execution was a warning to other potential turncoats. 3. Continued resistance. While the defeat at Mutina marked the end of the Liberators' cause, some of its leaders, including Cassius and Brutus, continued their resistance against the triumvirs. They fled to the Balkans, where they regrouped and prepared for further conflict. 4. Political instability. The conflict between the triumvirs and the Liberators had created deep divisions within the Roman Republic, and the aftermath of the Battle of Mutina only deepened these fault lines. The political instability and violence would continue for several years, culminating in the final showdown between Antony and Octavian at the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. 5. Formation of a new government. Following the end of the civil wars, Octavian would go on to establish the Roman Empire and become the first Roman emperor, Augustus. The new government he formed would bring an end to the political chaos that had plagued Rome for decades and usher in a period of relative stability and prosperity known as the Pax Romana. In summary, the aftermath of the Battle of Mutina saw the triumph of the Triumvirs and the consolidation of their power in Rome. While the defeat marked the end of the Liberators' cause, it also set the stage for further conflict and political instability in the years to come. Ultimately, the battle would be a critical moment in the history of Rome, marking the transition from the Roman Republic to the Roman Empire. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned.